The Anaheim Ducks have been a better team this year, but they just got some bad injury news. Kyle Kjer of Locked On Anaheim Ducks is here to talk about that and what lies ahead for the Ducks next on today's Locked On NHL Podcast.
You're Locked On NHL, your daily podcast on the National Hockey League. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Gil Martin here. Welcome, everybody, to the Monday edition of the Locked On NHL Podcast. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I want to thank everyone who makes Locked On NHL your first listen every day. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. And thank you for helping to make Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. So if you want to be in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. It is my pleasure to welcome back to the show the host of Locked On Anaheim Ducks, Kyle Kjer. And Kyle, a rough game on Sunday for the Ducks. They had the lead, watched it slip away, and then they get some injury news. What happened out there?
Gil, it just seems like they got settled in, and of course, thanks for having me on. But it just seems like they got that quick 3-0 lead in the first period, and they kind of thought they could settle in, and that's going to be the pace of the rest of the game, and that was not the case. The Blackhawks turned it on, and Ducks just never kind of re-grasped those straws. And now they had Peter Mrazek go down with what looked like he possibly pulled a groin, had a hard time getting up off the ice and to even get off and be checked out. So Ville Husso had to come in, and we already got the news at the end of the week that Lukas Dostal is going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. So now we're really reaching into the depth chart of the goaltenders for the Anaheim program.
If you are going with Ville Husso as the starter for the next couple of weeks, how do you think that changes the approach Joel Quenneville will have to his strategy?
I think Ville Husso is a pretty strong candidate for the back of the net, and having to come in cold in this game definitely didn't help. And that's kind of what gave away the lead, with just leaving Bedard alone. But I think the overall approach will probably stay the same, a little bit more tightening on D. It's been the weakness kind of the Ducks this entire season, with giving up guys in the high slot, not really tying anyone up, and kind of letting people slip below them. And it's kind of the struggle of the zone defense, but they've been leaving guys alone, and they've been getting just kind of hung out to dry with that.
Talk to me about the impact that Joel Quenneville has had on this team this year.
Oh, he's had a huge impact with this team. They just seem a lot more alive and awake, and his approach to having guys be aggressive, and mistakes are going to happen. You're not going to be sitting riding the bench for a couple games because you made one mistake. Like, it's, get back out there and earn it again, and, make up for that mistake, rather than, just feeling like you're going to get punished every single time. And he's freed up the energy there. And then even the rest of the coaching staff just seems to bring this new energy along with Jay Woodcroft and Ryan McGill. And it's just like this whole new look in there. And I think he just brings this level of compete, and that he's someone that knows how to make a winning recipe, and so you're going to do what he says and apply what he's asking you to do.
Chris Kreider has 11 goals thus far this season. He's missed a few games, but talk to me about his impact so far.
Oh, he's a huge impact for this team. I just put him as my thankful 3, as someone I'm thankful for this year. And I just see the way he brings his professionalism, but also his looseness. You can tell he's kind of a jokester, not really trying to be involved in the social media, but then he's becoming a social media icon because he doesn't want to do anything with it. But then he's like holding McTavish's hand walking down the tunnel after a win, and then like just silly stuff like that. But his presence on the ice, he brings this grit and this kind of swagger, and he lets the younger guys know like what it kind of takes to get in those areas. And he's been really effective with the power play. Not unfortunately this night, not really, but he's just there. He's a presence in front of the net, and he got a good goal with a nice feed from Beckett Seneca, and he's just there right where you need him every single time, and it just pays dividends for the rest of the players.
What's going on with the penalty kill, and how can it be improved?
Yeah, they got lit up today in the last couple of games, and it comes down to, like I said, leaving guys open, and kind of they need to box guys out a little bit more. They need to be a little bit tougher. They're kind of with the zone. I think they get more lost in kind of puck watching and trying to make sure they're in the right spot at every time, and they're letting guys get behind their peripherals, and they're not recognizing that they're there, and it's just getting exposed right now. And I think they just need to tighten things up a little bit and put a little more focus on clogging up those lanes and keeping guys away from the goaltenders.
Is that something that, as they get more comfortable in the system, could just improve that way?
Yeah, I think it is just something that is that growing pains with adjusting, but they do need to get a little bit more locked in on the defensive end. It seems like Quenneville's kind of been letting them let it fly. Like they keep getting so many chances shorthanded on the penalty kill, and it's led to a few shorthand goals this season already. But they kind of get hemmed in sometimes, or they get caught with that little rush approach, and then all of a sudden it's like a 3-on-1 or 4-on-1 coming back, and everyone's got to hurry back. So there's definitely an offensive first mindset right now for the team, and Quenneville's letting them fly, but there needs to be a little bit of tightening down. We're kind of realizing we can't be scoring 4+ goals a game in an 82 season.
Give me a player who has been a pleasant surprise for this team so far this year.
I mean, honestly, Beckett Seneca is probably the biggest surprise for me. At the beginning of the year, I was one of the ones saying, like, I think he needs some more aging. He seemed to kind of have this attitude when he was up here, a lot of bad body language coming from the ice. And, it's like every time he was getting beat, he was slamming his stick and frustration. And it just seemed like he wanted everything to kind of just come together. And he must have had a good talk with someone, because he all of a sudden put in that work during the preseason, and it totally turned around, and now he's on a huge streak and potential Calder candidate. And it's really awesome to watch. His point streak continues after that assist he got tonight, and he's playing some pretty good heads up hockey. Had some rookie mistakes in the last couple of games where he's getting some penalties or giving up some giveaways that are kind of in a danger spot. But overall, those are things that are going to get worked out in time. But he's contributing on the offensive end, and, Quenneville's going to keep playing him.
So what are the keys to this team ending the playoff drought? They're definitely better this year, but are they good enough to make the playoffs, and what will it take to get there?
I want to say yes. I don't want to, put anything on it. It's kind of crazy. I did not expect them to be in the position that they are at the top of the Pacific by American Thanksgiving. And it's not like one of those flukes where a bad team has a hot start. They continue to compete against great teams, giving up a couple here and there, and their willingness to keep fighting back. I think 15 or so games they've had the first goal given up. So they've been having to dig back in every single game, it seems like, and they continue to win, and they're beating top ranked teams. So I think they really just need to dig down and kind of take like games like tonight as a lesson, and, recognize that you're never out of it until the final buzzer.
Kyle, why don't you tell our viewers and our listeners where they could find the podcast and where they could find you on social media?
Well, you can find Locked On Anaheim Ducks on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anything like that. And then on social media, TikTok and X and Instagram and the YouTube shorts, we're always pumping stuff out. That's at LO_Ducks, or just look up Locked On Anaheim Ducks, because you don't want to confuse us with the old Oregon Ducks.
All right, Kyle, thanks so much. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Gil.
Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift, a receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props are updated as guys heat up. You can bet on next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, and every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your live NFL bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you.